Hi Shannon, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. It's great to have the opportunity to talk with you. I know that you're on a very busy schedule with the race, and today you're out kind of doing some pre-running, it looks like.
Yep.
And we're all signed in. We've got a big race on Saturday. I watched you last year. I was absolutely thrilled with your performance, and I know that this car is working really well for you. Let's talk about the car a bit. What equipment are you running, and what will you have in the Stampede?
The car that I'm running, we've got a turnkey LS3 motor in it, and Hughes builds a turbo 350 transmission that's built to the hilt. Atlas has a 3.0 transfer case, and then the front end and rear end, Curry builds the housings and stuff like that, and Motive puts the gears in it, and ARB lockers. It's kind of what most of the people are running. There's a few people that run some different stuff, but
you're doing IFS now, and I know that you ran a beam in the past.
We went to the IFS because it's faster in the whoops and stuff, and you know, this race here is really, I think, a good straight axle race. I don't think there's really I mean, now this was last year, I don't know about this year, but it's, you know, the Hammers has got a lot of whoops and some of this desert racing stuff we do, but this race seemed more like a straight axle race to me. Is, you know, you get less moving parts, and it was really rough. So, you know, I think everyone's got a pretty good advantage here, and I'm just another normal car out here with more moving parts.
Last year's performance was exceptional. You were running the IFS last year, and it worked very well for you. I noticed in the rock crawling especially, you just excelled there.
Yeah, I don't know that it was the IFS really that did it. I think, you know, it's a nimble car. It's a one-seat car. I think it was one of the advantages that I had. I think my old smaller car would have been even better. You know, now this year they stepped it up and they made it a longer race. I think a little bit bigger car, you know, it's going to be a little better if they've got some of the fast sections that they say they have, and it should work pretty good.
You have an exceptional background in racing, and a lot of folks aren't aware that you're more than just a dirt driver. You have a whole wide experience with track racing and everything else. Maybe you could share that with the viewers.
I'm not a real big hero at anything, maybe this stuff, but you know, I've dabbled in a lot of different things. I've done circle track racing, off-road racing, short course racing. We race on the highways to get here. You know, I'm just into anything that has to do with automotive. You know, it's fun, and yeah, I've learned a lot. And I think when you take all that and you kind of put it into each vehicle, you know, there's a lot of advantages there.
Circle track, how does that apply here? And where might it give you some advantage because you have that background?
Yeah, circle track helps with a lot of door-to-door racing. You know, you're comfortable around other cars really close. Just throwing it into a corner, you know, and you've got that feeling of setting a car up, and then also getting a setup, you know, shocks and tuning, and you know, they all kind of come together. But yeah, circle track was probably one of the fun things that I got to do, and we just ran out of time and money to do it all, so we kind of pick and choose now.
If you were to say you have a preference for one over the other, how do you feel about doing the dirt?
Oh, I love the dirt. I love it out here in the desert and the loose stuff. Probably one of the funnest things that I've ever done is short course truck racing. You know, because you got the jumps in the dirt, and it's like stock car with jumps. So
sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It looks fun from a distance, I know that.
Good.
You know, my feel for it is if you're out in like long stretches of desert, the longer wheelbase, wider track width works well.
Yep.
Obviously, the old advantage in rocks is shorter wheelbase and having a good breakover angle and all of that stuff.
Yep.
So when you set a car up for this kind of racing, Ultra4, where you know there's going to be a mix of these kinds of terrain, and you're going to have desert racing mixed with rock crawling and so on, do you target a certain wheelbase length and a certain track width?
When you're building something, like our Hammers cars are all right around 112-inch wheelbase. The rock crawl cars are more, you know, 104, 106, and it just depends on where you're going or what you're doing. You know, if you got time to do a change like that, some of the stuff you can't really change, but you know, you got preferred dimensions that you try to take with you.
Do others use that same formula, or is this pretty much proprietary for Campbell Enterprises?
You know, I'm sure everybody does. We're kind of really rednecks that just figured out what works. You know, we're not no rocket scientist stuff, but you know, I've got what I like to feel and do, and And I don't know what everybody else
I would
does.
think that would have a lot to do with it. It's the way the car sets up for you personally.
Yeah.
And you're used to a certain feel and a certain response from the chassis in terms of track width and wheelbase.
Yep.
And the travel and everything else plays into that as well. So you have your own formula, but it's based on your driving type and your driving skill sets and all of that sort of thing.
That's right.
But on that note, this equipment is holding together. What would you attribute that to? I mean, part of winning these races is finishing them.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things in this whole, King of the Hammer series is number one, you got to finish to win. And if you don't have a good prep, and stuff's falling apart and you're having to work on the stuff all day, you start going backwards. And prep is 99% of it. I think the driving part, it does take a good driver, but if you prep it good and you get to put a smart driver in a car, and he can finish, he's gonna do good. That's what we said. If you just finish, you're gonna do good, and then you start picking up the pace. And a lot of time, I know what it takes to finish or to win. You got to finish, but I don't know. Now I've gotten more aggressive in my older days. It's like I don't want to just finish. I want to win. So I try and run my junk into the ground and take what I get.
Yeah, I saw you in the rock pile last year, and you were definitely telling your competitors, "Get out of my way." I got that message really clearly.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's what this is about, and you're very well respected among the drivers. You're well liked. It means that you're a fair sportsman and that you're obviously highly competitive. We all know that, and so it's much to your credit.
I'm sure I got some haters out there.
You think one or two?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
It goes with the territory, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I would think so.
But I try to get along with everybody.
Excellent. Let's do a walk around of the car. Maybe you can point out some of the features of this kind of racing. Let's take a look.
Right on.